This is what the crime is. The crime is no. We want to show you how to use a defibrillator. We want to say we have a giant screw up and a giant basically beyond that. I think it did it on purpose. Michael Yeadon, who worked at Pfizer for 20 years, said the ingredients were intentionally toxic. His word, testified under oath in front of the UK Parliament. Intentionally toxic. They knew that what they were doing, and just like this right here, this story here, breaking. This is O'Keefe Media Group, OMG. Johnson & Johnson lead scientist confesses J&J COVID vaccine was not safe and effective, lack of research. And this is a crime to come out and say, oh, that you need this. Oh, you don't need hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. You need that. And isn't there a big case going on over in the Netherlands, over in Europe right now? Is that correct? I mean, they got some big people that they are putting under the microscope, and they may charge them.
Over in the Netherlands, Jim Ferguson has been in the courtroom, and he's been reporting basically on this case in the Netherlands. And they brought in Albert Bourla, Bill Gates, van der Leyden, Mark Rutte, I think that's how you say it, and two journalists. And the charges were crimes against humanity, collusion with the media, vaccine injuries, death, and there was collusion with mainstream media. That's why the journalists were pulled in. But what's interesting is the lead attorney was actually arrested the day before they were to go to court. There was over 200 documents, and they even had some information from Reiner Fuellmich from his Nuremberg committee case. And so the lead attorney was arrested without charges and is still in jail, and his partner had to go into court and basically give all the testimony and do all the questioning. So this court case is supposed to last about 6 weeks. But if the judge individually is going to make them stand trial, then this could open the door to a Nuremberg 2.0 around the world. So this will set a big precedent around the world to arrest under the court system, and possibly also Nuremberg tribunals. So very promising.
These people they did this on purpose. There's not going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They want to hide behind their vaccine shield, their immunity, we tried. And that's not the case. This is why these bills in Congress with Gohmert and Massey, taking away, killing the PrEP Act and taking away their vaccine liability for everybody. And there'd be nobody, that would be one way to kill off these shots, because if you knew you were injecting some baby and the baby ends up dying or getting really severely sick, and you could lose your medical license and you get sued by millions of dollars, that's going to be a big chilling effect. But they should pull the shots off the market. These are indeed bioweapons, are they not? I'm really disappointed in Trump. I'm so totally disappointed in RFK Jr., totally disappointed in Trump. Always worried about is, the bro brothers and getting around and letting AI take off and do everything, which isn't innovation, it's tyranny to me. But anyway, I'm very disappointed in them. I mean, right? I mean, they killed people. They're maiming people.
Yeah. As a frontline doctor, as a truther doctor, I'm extremely disappointed in RFK in that he has not eliminated COVID-19 shots and eliminated the PrEP Act. He has the ability to do that. I don't understand why he didn't do that. We've known for years, and looking at the early studies, the early Pfizer documents. By the way, ICANN just dumped another 200,000 pages of Pfizer documents. But we knew in the early trials of the deaths and the disabilities, they should have never been released. And we knew that these were devices. We knew the language was changed from vaccine to countermeasures, which means device. We knew they were bioweapons the whole time. And we knew the spike protein was a bioweapon, and we knew the mRNA, which is classified as a device, is a bioweapon. We've known that. We've known the spike protein has been weaponized all the way back to 2005. And therefore, these COVID-19 shots should never have been released. And if you're really getting, fraud vitiates everything. I mean, they could basically arrest all these people under RICO, or just fraud and crimes against humanity. I don't understand why that's not been done. There's enough evidence out there, and as I said earlier, 52% of Americans are quite aware of what these shots are doing to friends and family. We have another, 40, less than 40% to wake up. But were they worried about, a civil war? Were they worried about people being shot and killed on the street for giving these shots? I'm not really certain, but they're doing harm. They're bioweapons. They're killing people. Our numbers are now 5,000 a week. It's terrifying. Deagle, the Deagle Report, Deagle.com, that we talked about 4 or 5 years ago, is now coming to fruition. Deagle said that in 2025, there's going to be a mass culling. And I'll remind you of the numbers. USA would go from 327 million to 100 million. UK would go from 66 million to 15 million. Canada would be cut in half. Australia would be wiped out. Germany, France, and Spain would be gutted. Deagle told us this. Deagle is actually a military-linked intelligence source tied to the US DoD, CIA, and NATO. Deagle was warning the world that this was going to happen. I don't know if he specifically knew how it was going to happen, but think about it. Step one was the rollout of the vaccines. Step two was the rollout of the 5G, 6G towers. And step three is the event. He picked 2025. You had Karen Kingston on here talking about Bio 2025 meeting and countermeasures. Well, does that mean it's a biological weapon? Or are they going to turn on these 6G towers and do a pulsed frequency, knowing that the shots have graphene oxide in them? Are they going to fry people's brains? Are they going to cause blood clots and sudden cardiac death? Is it going to be a total culling all at once? I think Deagle was warning us.
About 5 years ago, I'd say, "Oh, come on, that's crazy." Now, well, not so crazy, because what they're doing is absolutely outrageous. It could happen. I mean, who knows? But let's talk about some of the things you see firsthand. You were saying that your cancer calls have skyrocketed just in your own practice. Also, I want you to talk about the Veterans Administration, that you're seeing some pretty awful things there. Your cancer calls, you said, you were telling me in the pre-interview that it's unbelievable the amount of cancer calls that you're getting. Tell me what you're seeing on the ground firsthand.
Well, on the first of all, in the beginning of COVID, all of my telehealth was COVID treatment for the first couple of years, like 2021, 22. And then as people were getting vaxxed and boosted, I started to get calls about vaccine injuries. So from 2022 to 2024, most of those calls were vaccine injury telehealth calls. Now I am averaging a cancer consult call a week, which is a lot for me. And those telehealth calls are intense. Most of them, the patients either took the COVID vaccines or took other vaccines like the flu shots or HPV or, the Gardasil or shingles or, other shots that also may have this mRNA component in them. But nonetheless, they have cancer and they're reaching out for advice and help. And that part of my telehealth has exploded. I'm getting calls, cold calls, almost daily, and I'm averaging a cancer telehealth 1 or 2 times a week now.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
All because of the shots.
Yeah.
And some of these people could avoid if they aren't having. Would you recommend people being on some type of ivermectin, fenben, memben, what do you call it, bromelain, or maybe something like this, spike detox, or nanokinase? Would you be, if you're not having symptoms now, would you be recommending people, vaxxed or unvaxxed, to be on some type of regimen in today's post CV-19 vax world?
Yeah. Because the spike protein is shed. If you have contact with someone who took the shot, we now know it's over 700 days that you can still shed or transmit that spike protein. So whether you're having sexual intercourse, whether you're touching, hugging someone, whether you're working alongside someone, that spike protein can be transmitted. So yes, everybody should be protecting themselves. Everybody.